All right. I'll let Daniel get himself set up for our next and last presentation today. Again, thank you so much for coming by. Sorry the room is a little warm. It's just one of those days, apparently. So Daniel McKay, who is also part of the executive committee for SORA, so thank you, Daniel, is going to be our last presenter today. He works for the Office of the State CIO as a strategic sourcing specialist. His team coordinates IT procurement projects across state agencies, units of local government, and educational organizations. Daniel specializes in performance management and holds certifications in public performance measurement, project management, and data visualization. Daniel has experience in research methodology, experimental survey design, and statistical analysis. Published work includes research studying the Italian mafia and its effects on entrepreneurship, and the development of an index that attempts to measure mafia presence. And I'm pretty sure that just by reading that sentence, I'm on a hit list now. Thank you very much, Daniel. Daniel holds a master's in international development economics and a bachelor's degree in political science and economics. So, round of applause for Daniel.
Okay, is that better? Okay. Yeah, thank you for sitting through this very warm room. I had tie and like jacket and everything, and you're lucky I just unbuttoned one button. Michael gave a really great presentation about the awesome work that Multnomah County is doing. Really, they're sort of a leader in this space across the state. What I'm going to show you is that if your department doesn't have tools set up, put in place, there are options for you to get some of your information out on the web, to build some really great visualizations and to help the population and the people that you serve, even people within your department, utilize some of the data that may just be set somewhere in your network drives or that just never really gets to see the light of day. And some of these, I'm going to go over Tableau Public. I believe we actually have an enterprise agreement with Tableau, so we've already gone through the work of kind of looking at sort of their terms and how they handle data and things like that. So getting approval for downloading the software should be potentially a little easier. At least it was for our agency. I'm going to skip this, but essentially I have a wife and 2 kids. I like golf. I'm a data and gadget geek. I had put mafia on here, but my wife, who is from Italy, said, and it's a cultural thing maybe, she was afraid that you guys would all think I'm a mafioso. So I did take that off. There are quite a few. Actually, if you Google free data visualization tools, there are a lot of visualization tools out there. I'm highlighting 4 here. The first is Tableau Public. Tableau Public is great. It is free. You can download it as long as you have permission from your IT department. They can set it up for you. If you are an educator or a student, they also give you a free version of Desktop, which has a lot more features to it. You have the ability to publish online. The caveat, and it got cut off there, is everything, no matter what, even if you have something really crappy that you put out there, it's going to be saved online. So that's definitely something to note. So if you're experimenting, you're using, for instance, like client data, things like that, you probably don't want to use the tool. This would be for information that is explicitly public. So this would be level 1, level 2 type data, nothing more than that. It does not have any sort of database connection support. This version, just essentially you can connect to CSV files, Excel files. You do now have the ability to use a web data connector, which opens up a lot of possibilities for just about any website. OData, like the data.oregon.gov, you can utilize. And you do have the ability now to connect to Google Sheets also. So there are some capabilities there. No coding is required. One thing that I like about Tableau, and there's really great things about all of them, is they did stick to principles, data visualization principles. So you'll notice when you download and utilize the software, you don't have like 50 different chart types. If you want to do something like a donut chart or a gauge, it's going to be more difficult. Those aren't very good data visualization practices. So they try to guide you in the right direction. Some people still do that, and there are workarounds, but you'll get frustrated if you want to do those really cool, not recommended data visualization practices. It is also super easy to use. Most people can pick it up and run with it, and within a week, you can do quite a bit. The other one that's really popular, and you're seeing around the state quite a lot of agencies are experimenting with it right now, is Power BI. At the cost point, it is probably the lowest entry cost. The free version is very flexible. You can publish everything online. The only thing you really can't do is share information internally. So if you don't want, if you want to share workbooks and things like that, you're not able to do that necessarily in the free version. You do have all the database support though. You can connect to like 100 different data types, just like you would in the Tableau desktop. And also there's no coding required. You do also have third-party applications that you can download. So if you want really cool visualizations, you can download something that somebody else has created. And they're on a super rapid development cycle. I think they've slowed it down, but they were doing at a point in time like update every 2 weeks or something like that. So now I think it's slowed down maybe once a month. But very, very quickly becoming a top tool. Both of these are on like the Gartner Magic Quadrants. They are kind of the two top in the industry right now. Another one that a lot of people don't notice or know about is Google Data Studio. It's a free tool. It is the easiest thing to use to publish onto the web. As you're creating, there's a little embed button. You click that, it gives you a link. You can put it really anywhere without branding or anything like that. So that's nice for people putting up on their website. And another one that we actually seen here at one of the SOAR events is HighCharts. HighCharts is extremely flexible if you're comfortable with JavaScript. It's an amazing tool. There's just about nothing I don't think you can do. You can connect to just about any data source that you are able to connect through some sort of online request. Oh, and that one's free, but it's only free if you're using it for non-commercial purposes. I think most of us are. So a couple reasons to publish. Definitely one thing is to bring data out of the shadows, bring it out of your shared network drives. We have a lot of information. I came from procurement services originally. I'm currently working for the Basecamp program, which is the supply chain management arm for the state of Oregon for IT. And so I'm still sort of involved in this world, and we have a ton of purchasing information that is just, we have it. Nobody else has it. People would like to know what people are buying. I'll take an example of, let's say you're from Klamath County and you want to buy Tableau, for instance, or you want to buy Power BI. When you call SHI to get that software, you may not be getting a very good deal. You don't have a lot of licenses that you're purchasing. You don't have very professional purchasing people, maybe. Not that Klamath County doesn't. It would be nice, and customers have requested to be able to go up on our website, type in Tableau, and get the prices that other people have paid. We have access to that information. Other people don't. We used to get some requests for that, and it would require that we create a report and send that to them every time. By taking and publishing this information online, people have access to it right away, and it does reduce the amount of data requests that we get. One thing that I really appreciate is that one report can take the place of multiple reports, which makes updating data sources very easy. I remember just every time we had a new quarter, I'd have to update like 50 files to add a new quarter line. We separated tables by period, so we had to, in all of our queries, we had to add a new table, and it quickly just became unruly, and we inevitably forget something. And then that also allows people that are in the field that aren't connected onto the state network to access that information. So a little bit about publishing on Tableau Public. When you publish, the very first thing that comes up is it pops up your little Tableau page. This is my profile. You do have the ability to make it not visible, which means people on Tableau Public, when they search, are not going to find it. It won't be linked to your profile. However, it is still out there. If someone had the link to it, they would be able to access that information. You're able to download the workbook and data. So if you are trying to share this information with people, you do have the ability to allow them to download that data. You do also have the ability to not allow people to download that data. So you can publish and keep simply aggregated information, and that's a possibility. I would still hesitate. I wouldn't put any client information up there. I'm not sure really sort of the standards they have for processing that. What I did want to show today is Tableau, and it is unique. I do use Power BI as well. I think it's a great tool. One thing it doesn't do at this point in time is URL filtering, so passing parameters of your visualization through a URL. We do currently do this at the state of Oregon. Our Basecamp webpage, which I'll show you in a little bit, has this. What that means is we can create one visualization that drives multiple pages on our website. What I've seen happen very frequently is analysts will develop very cool dashboards, and they have all these filters. For procurement, it would be like the contract number, and you can really get any piece of information you want. But when you publish this information, who knows the contract number for SHI? I mean, I do because I work there, but nobody else does. What this allows you to do is curate your information. So on a web page, they can go to the software purchasing web page or the SHI web page, and they would see the information already filtered for SHI. And again, one report that I created is now funneling through, and in our instance, we have 200 or so price agreements at the state of Oregon. You could fit 200 reports using one. The URL breakdown is super simple. I'm going to use this alternate because it's a lot easier. The only thing that's different is you have a serial for your workbook. Parameters, all you do is add a little question mark, put the name of your field, equals, and put whatever you want that to be. It can be text also. It doesn't need to be a number. The only thing you can't do is wildcards. So if you have a wildcard filter, it doesn't accept that. You can't put an asterisk or anything like that in the URL. So again, everything really can be filtered, just everything except for wildcards. And I kind of went over all of that. So show an example. I'm going to hope this works. This is embedded in the presentation, but here's a visual that I created on Sunday. So hopefully everything works. This is an example of our state procurement for IT and the trend of pricing over time. So this is an aggregation of about 30 statewide price agreements and how pricing has changed across those agreements over time. There's a lot of math behind it as far as weighting and indexing across multiple agreements when they change. I won't get into that, but what this shows right now is that in the last, and I'll go to a quarterly view, in the last 3 months, and I will say I filtered this data, it's a little bit older. Our pricing went down by 3.5%. What you have over here are other indices, which can be live. Well, in Tableau Public they can't. So that's the other thing, sorry, is these are all data extracts. So I can publish these. It's very easy. I could publish them daily if I wanted to update this data. But right now this is not actually live. But what I'm doing here is I'm comparing with the Consumer Price Index. I have things like CPI for information technology, Producer Price Index, the San Francisco Technology Pulse, which kind of measures the Silicon Valley's performance and sort of the hype around technology, and then some other indices. But right now, for internal users, what this dashboard will be able to tell us is how we're comparing to those market comparators. In future revisions, this will actually tie to particular agreements. So when you change an agreement, it will change the comparator. So if you're looking at like software, there is a software index that we can compare to. So I do want to show you an example of filtering. So I did that. I took that same link. I put a little question mark. The PA is price agreement 4723. You'll notice the visualization changed a little bit. And this goes over sort of how pricing went for that agreement. You can do some cool things as far as having all of the indices pop out to you when you scroll to different areas. Again, performance is still there. You still have the reference period you can change. One cool thing I want to note is you can also add hyperlinks and URLs within your visualization. So if you want to go to other sites, you want to direct people to other curated visuals, you can do that. And so here's an example of actually doing that. So if I click that link that was up there, this takes us to the State of Oregon Basecamp IT catalog. It pre-populated that query parameter that I put in here. And this gives you access to more information. You could click that, go to ORPN, get the contract summary. We have other visualizations that are driven within here. This allows you to get some more information on market trends. This is tied to an applicable index. Who's purchasing around the state of Oregon? You even get specific organizations, who's purchasing what. Nice thing about this is another example of URL filtering. We have a list here of 30 different price agreements. Again, it's the same visual on the same web page even, and their Tableau Public has figured out within each of these accordions the different visualization that it should show. So right now, really at the Basecamp program, as far as live visuals, we just have one. There are 30 different on this accordion, but we're only managing one report right now. Yes? This is oregon.gov/Basecamp. Yep. Yeah, and you can filter as many. Just to make the link, in a size that is legible. I only chose 2. This one I added a particular buyer name. So if I had somebody that I wanted to send this report to, I could have it pre-filtered for them. The since date is number of quarters going back, and you'll notice that it went and defaulted to the 6 months reference period. I have one other visual, but I did want to let you know if you have any questions. This will be made available to you. You can send me an email. Get me on LinkedIn if you want to connect. We can go that route too. And then we really did, and I just created this morning. So I want to say that this is all still a very rapid development. Creating these things are very easy. My example of sort of a use case for organizations that want to know who's purchasing what. That's what this is supposed to be. And so this is an example of integrating a map. This is not through ArcGIS. This is the Tableau built-in mapping. You do have integration with ArcGIS within Tableau Public. That is a possibility. And yeah, really these tools are expanding. I like to say I'm really into data. Data science has been something that I've had a passion for. For a few years, I default to using tools like R. You can build all your R functions, all R scripts, and run them through Tableau. You can do the same with Power BI. And so these are very flexible tools. You'll see that this, even if it loads, gives you pretty granular level of detail within the mapping. And we'll give it time because I think this is filtering like 3 million rows of data, so it does take a little bit for it to update. But you'll see it will give you, really street level view if you wanted. The purpose of this visualization is to inform people who's purchasing what. So if I type in, Surface, I want to know who's purchasing Surface products. Those are the Microsoft. I'm pointing to my Surface. They're the little Microsoft tablets that are kind of like laptops too. It gives you the option. You type that in, and it will filter in who's purchasing what. Assuming this thing was working, when you click any of these little dots, which should scale, it would also break down that list for you. We're using that right now to get participation across the state for our Basecamp agreements, or at least that's the plan. So if we're looking for, for instance, actually business intelligence is something that we are looking at here pretty soon. We can type in BI, Tableau, Oracle data visualization into this map, and we can aim at getting people along the coast, along Eastern Oregon, figure out who the purchasers are of those products, and make sure to involve them in our strategic sourcing efforts. That's pretty much it. I guess I'll open up if there's any questions people have. And I do want to show, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of granularity that the mapping has built in to Tableau right now. Do you guys have any questions before we wrap up? Awesome, sweet. Did you have a question?
Okay. Tableau is consistent across its public, its desktops, and its server, so you don't get very restricted. You use it the same way.
Oh yes, yes. All the same features, visualizations, and all that are available. That does allow you to also, share that with people that have Tableau desktop, and they can use it seamlessly.
It's just the public's free.
Yes, public is free. Yeah. So all of this is done free. We've hosted this on our website for free. We have 0 licensing costs of Tableau right now. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's 3 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and let you go. There's cookies still in the back, just a couple left, and flyers for the EC. And we'll see you guys in 2018. Thanks, guys.